Good morning. It is 9 a.m. on this Thursday. 63 degrees out there, brilliant sunshine. But there were some headaches on the roads for many drivers this morning, including on the 33 inbound. This is what it looked like for the past hour or so. Things were really slowing down because of an accident there on the 33. It had the 33 backed up for miles, but fortunately we're hearing now that things are clearing up and traffic is moving just fine. Again, Lance Mellon has all of the details, though, about what we were seeing and what the root problem was. So let's throw things over to Lance right now. Lance, how are things looking right now?
Hey, thanks a lot, Melissa. Well, moving just fine, at least at the scene of the accident. It was right near the 198, just before Humboldt Parkway. So the center and left lanes, those are the ones that were blocked for, like you said, about an hour. So a lot of folks that use the 33 going downtown were unfortunately a bit late today. But we are still seeing some residual delays and unfortunately another accident. So on the right side, those are the inbound drivers. You can see at least they're picking up speed. They're moving a little better than they were before. But now outbound, we got an additional accident right near Bailey Avenue on the right shoulder. Just figured I'd show you that. But still, we have delays stretching to Harlem Road. That's where it's kind of, well, actually, it's looking a little better. It looks like just beyond Harlem, you can still see some congestion there on the right side. So it is improving. It's taking a little time, but thankfully, all those lanes have been reopened. You know, an interesting point, too, to bring up is that a lot of those folks were detoured. So a lot of them avoided the 33. They went further down the 90 West, trying to get onto the 190. And we have kind of an unusual, unexpected delay for a lot of folks. So from Walden to the 190, these are all of the drivers that avoided the 33, which was a good idea. Now you got a little bit of congestion taking the alternate route to downtown Buffalo. So yeah, it's just kind of caused a domino effect on the highways for the later portion of the drive, which we normally don't see, Melissa.
I was just going to say that, Lance. We normally don't see many backups at 9 a.m., but that's really fascinating that you linked that together, that all of that heavy traffic there was probably people who were trying to avoid the 33 that knew that there were those issues.
Right.
Fascinating. All right, but again, the 33 inbound is now pretty much smooth sailing and picking up speed. Lance, thank you for that. That outbound accident, though, not tying up any traffic at this point. So we will keep you updated if there are any other issues on the roads here throughout Daybreak, which we will continue to stream through 9:30 this morning. Also, overnight, police were investigating this deadly motorcycle crash in Lockport. This is the scene on Fisk Road. The crash happened at around 8:30 last night. State troopers say a motorcyclist was speeding when he hit a car that was turning into a driveway. The motorcycle driver died at the scene. Troopers haven't released his identity. There's been a recent uptick in shootings in Buffalo. It's part of what the police department says is a growing trend across the city. New data shows that while the number of deadly shootings are down, the number of overall shootings is actually going up. There have been 36 shootings in the city from January to the end of May of this year, and that's actually a 9% increase from the same time period last year. The number of shooting victims has also risen by 11%. A man who allegedly tried to kill a Buffalo police officer is scheduled to be in court for a felony hearing later this morning. Minhaj Siddiqui is charged with attempted murder. He is accused of shooting Buffalo police officer Mark Hurst 6 times while he and fellow officers were trying to de-escalate a domestic incident inside a home on Sherman Street just over a week ago. The officers shot Siddiqui in response, and he's been recovering at ECMC. It's unclear if he'll be showing up to court in person today. And as for the officer who was shot by Siddiqui, well, this morning we are looking at the emotional scene when he was discharged from the hospital on Monday. Officer Mark Hurst was shot 6 times and we're told he underwent surgery. Buffalo police posted all of these images on social media, writing that Hurst inspired the department and the entire community, and they're asking for support as he continues his recovery. There's been a change to the trial start date for a Buffalo man accused of killing his girlfriend. Ricky Crouch's trial was supposed to start this month, but now it's being pushed back 6 months. He's accused of shooting and killing 44-year-old Amanda Thompson on the porch of their South Ogden Street home last July. This is video of them from an unrelated Channel 2 interview back in 2022. His trial is now expected to start on January 5th to give enough time for his new attorney that he requested to get up to speed. Crouch had been discharged from parole just months before Thompson's killing. He served 23 years for a murder that he committed in the late 90s. Crouch could spend the rest of his life in prison if convicted. An Erie County grand jury has indicted a town of Tonawanda man accused of killing his wife. 36-year-old Nicholas Malvaso is charged with killing 51-year-old Tiffany Malvaso inside their Cleveland Drive home last month. The Erie County medical examiner ruled her death a homicide due to blunt force trauma to the head. Malvaso is being held without bail, and he's scheduled to return to court on June 26th. If convicted, he could spend 25 years to life behind bars. Investigators in Genesee County say a domestic dispute led to a pair of arrests and the discovery of drugs and a gun, all while a child was nearby. Deputies were called to a home in the town of Batavia Tuesday afternoon for a reported assault. The sheriff's office says a person was seriously hurt and a child was in the home at the time. As deputies looked further into the case, they obtained a search warrant, and they say they found drugs and a weapon inside the home. 32-year-old Cody Kimmel and Joseph Jeffords were both taken into custody. Kimmel's accused of assault and faces several other charges, while Jeffords is accused of drug-related offenses. 9:06 now on Daybreak, and dozens of Western New Yorkers packed the town of Tonawanda Municipal Building last night, speaking out against a proposed AI data center at the former Tonawanda Coke site. More than 100 people showed up with concerns, and the planning board ultimately removed the item from the agenda. Western New Yorkers are telling 2 on Your Side that they don't want a data center in the region, following a developer's proposal for the former Tonawanda Coke site. Residents raise concerns about environmental impacts, heavy water and electricity use, and rising utility costs. Others say large corporations have historically impacted the health and quality of life in the Tonawandas.
I would just urge you to be the generation that does not let that continue, and to think about the younger generations who don't want that to continue. Think about the world for your grandchildren, your children, and all of their children.
I just want to be heard because I'm not for this at all. I just think it's going to be an environmental impact.
The planning board ultimately and unanimously voted to table the topic. However, the item could eventually return to the agenda. And frustration was also building up in Niagara Falls last night during a city council meeting.
There is a fire going on in this country right now. You know what? Fire is catching. Don't bring it to Niagara Falls.
The council approved a settlement that ended a years-long dispute over whether Niagara Falls redevelopment can use vacant land to build a $1.5 billion data center. Development will now move forward on what will be called the Niagara Digital Campus in the area of Fall Street and John Daly Boulevard, right near the casino. The city must pay more than $4 million for costs and expenses in connection with the property, and will not be able to use the property for purposes that compete with this data center project. Mayor Robert Rustino plans to hold a briefing at 11:30 this morning to address the council's approval of that settlement. And we have an update for voters in Erie County planning to take part in this month's primaries. If you are heading to the polls, you might want to double check your polling location. That's because the County Board of Elections has announced that 8 sites are permanently changing. They're in Buffalo, Cheektowaga, Lackawanna, Lancaster, and Tonawanda. The Board of Elections says that you will be notified by mail if the changes impact you. Early voting starts Saturday, June 13th, and primary day is Tuesday, June 23rd. All right, Patrick, 66 degrees out there and another dry and beautiful day. I'll take it. Although we were talking, Patrick, I was golfing yesterday for my women's league. Not very well, but that's not what we were talking about. We were talking about how it was gorgeous when I started at 5:30, but then as I was wrapping up holes like 7, 8, and 9 at 7:30, it started to get
a little cold.
Cold.
Yeah. Cold or cool?
Well, I wanted a jacket and
You
I
wanted
didn't
a
have
jacket.
one.
And you took cocktails inside.
I did.
Right.
I couldn't enjoy the patio music because I needed to be inside.
Yeah.
But nothing stopped me from having my cocktails.
No,
Not even a little cold weather.
No, Sasquatch entering the premises would have. Nope, don't touch my wine. Here's the deal. When you have, despite how mild or warm it was, if the air is really dry, when the sun goes down, it can cool very quickly. And so, yes, you go from the 70s down into the, the low 60s pretty quickly. So there you go. For today, a similar setup where high numbers will actually be closer to 80 today, but then we'll trail off, but not as much as the last couple of nights because it's going to get a little more humid. So tomorrow morning, instead of being in the 40s and 50s, we're going to be in the 60s tomorrow morning. Today, again, yesterday we were 75, today right around 80 degrees, but notice tomorrow morning, not as cool, with lows upper 50s to low 60s. And then for your day tomorrow, low to mid 80s. Could be one of the warmer days of the season we've had so far. Very nice. Okay, now, as for the weekend, this is Future Look starting Friday. We do think some showers are going to roll through in the morning. And then in the afternoon, widely scattered showers or a thunderstorm. And the coverage is a little in question right now. So there will be a lot of dry time out there, but there could be a couple of showers and thunderstorms that move through, and any one of those could produce a quick downpour. And that will subside, it looks like, Saturday night. Rainfall totals, generally a quarter to a half of an inch, but some spots, a little bit more if you're under one of those pockets of heavier rain. So that's, again, hit and miss on Saturday. Mostly sunny today, 80. Tonight, mainly clear, 58 to 62. And then for tomorrow, mostly sunny, 82. A little breezier tomorrow, and then breezy with some of the showers on Saturday. And then we do this all over again. Next week, this weather pattern that has remained kind of stagnant day to day, little change, it's going to happen again next week with very little in the way of rain, if at all, and dry and warm with temperatures maybe a category warmer than this week. Instead of mid to upper 70s, we will be in the low to mid 80s much of next week, Melissa.
I feel like Mother Nature's apologizing.
For?
May.
Yeah, May was cool and damp, yes. But it was literally the last week of May when this weather pattern switched, and here it is June 4th, and we're already so that means we're almost 2 weeks into this quiet, nice thank you from Mother Nature.
Yeah, I mean, even April was pretty terrible. So I will take this dry, warm weather. But
very nice.
Yeah, people will have to start watering their lawns soon, I guess, after being so damp and so wet for so long.
Yeah, I don't think we're at watering yet, but we're getting close. Because, you're going to go, because Saturday you'll get some rain. But then, that will have been 2 weeks. So, I mean,
luckily on the golf course yesterday, I had a lot of roll.
There you go.
Because it was so dry.
No, I'm playing tomorrow, and I need all the roll I can get. Seriously.
Can we get video of you golfing tomorrow?
Yeah. Like a teaching video for others to learn.
Oh, right. This is what you don't want to do.
Thank you. I appreciate that.
All right.
Where you'll find me is not on the fairway in the video. You'll see all sorts of roughage.
All right, good to know.
Okay.
Patrick, thank you. And coming up after the break, we will talk sports and other news stories. Oh, and you'll want to see the story about a 92-year-old man who celebrated his birthday working at the new Highmark Stadium. We'll explain coming up. Welcome back. Bills fans are really unlike any other fan base. And when you get a chance to help build the new Highmark Stadium, many of you would probably take it. And it turns out a 92-year-old got the call to help out with construction on his birthday yesterday. Happy birthday to Mr. Joe Cato, right there in the bright yellow vest. He tells us he was invited by one of the contractors called Heritage.
He's 92?
I know.
Wow.
And look at him on the floor.
Look at that.
He's very spry, isn't he, for
Yes.
92? He's doing the flooring there to celebrate his birthday. But it's really a full circle moment because he helped to install floor coverings at Rich Stadium as it was being built in 1973.
Back then, when we did Rich Stadium, that was compared to Civic Stadium, the old Bills Stadium.
Yeah.
Okay, 100% better. You know what I mean? Bigger and everything else. This place is state-of-the-art stuff in there. Yeah. It's amazing what they've done in here.
Can we please ask him what's his secret to looking like he's 72 when he's 92? Oh my goodness. The crew gave him a huge round of applause. So happy birthday to Mr. Cato. Not everyone can say that they worked on both stadiums. So cool.
By the way, did you know that tomorrow marks the three-year anniversary of the groundbreaking? It was June 5th of 2023.
Wow.
When the dignitaries were out there, they did the ceremonial thing. And I remember at the time, like, the 2026 season, it
It's
sounds
so
like,
far away.
But here we are, and now you
Yes.
drive by, and like you just saw the fences are down. You can walk right up. I mean, it's here. It's crazy.
Wow.
3 years ago.
That's amazing. I hope that there is a time-lapse video of the whole thing going up. I would assume that the
I've
Bills have done this.
seen-
Or the contractors.
I've seen one, not recently, but it did show like the first, like 2 years.
And then to show the other one going down.
Right.
Oh my goodness.
Right.
We're almost here.
It is. It's kind of weird though. What do you think? The first like NFL thing. I mean, I know you got the return of the red and blue and red. Is it red and blue or blue and red? Anyway, the first, it's gonna be a preseason game. You kind of wish the Bills got all away preseason games. So the first game is like the first game.
Although I'm sure that the Bills also want to work the kinks out during
that's
an
true.
actual preseason game.
Make sure
because you
everything
can only
works.
have so many like run-throughs of like a dress rehearsal.
Where's the light switch? We can't turn on the lights. The stadium lights. Where is it? They open the manual.
The state
Lighting,
of the art.
page 39. Okay. There.
This button.
Right.
Gotta work out the kinks.
Right.
So, anyway.
There's got to be an owner's manual in one of those construction trucks.
You and I have talked about this before. I mean, imagine building a stadium.
Yeah.
Like being a guy who's like, oh yeah, you're gonna just, work on the steel today and work on the wiring for the lights today.
Like when you
or
build something,
hanging the jumbotron or whatever. Like
everything you think has to go in order. Like, oh, don't do that yet. You got to do this first, right? Yeah. I know
it's
it's
tile a
fun.
backsplash, let alone.
It's amazing. And all the people.
And there's no YouTube videos of like how-tos for building an NFL stadium.
There's one guy who's he's got 39. Subscribe, push the like button, please. On the how to build a stadium tutorial. It's crazy.
Just
I also
fascinating.
remember, because I get to drive by all the time, is I remember seeing like the first construction vehicle that came out and the first fencing that got put up.
Yeah.
Because it's like, remember there was like this big open area and there was a flag where the 50-yard line was going to be. Remember that? Anyway, it's just been what a process.
Cranes and steel beams and watching.
And when was the anniversary of the topping out?
Right, which is the last steel beam in place.
And they all signed it.
Right, we were here doing a live broadcast about that and watching.
Probably about a year ago.
And seeing everyone sign the final steel beam, and then Terry Pagula talked about wanting to have some sort of recognition for everyone who's worked on the stadium, and he talked about it during that, and I hope that they get to, because for children now to be able to say, my grandfather or my dad or my mom worked on it, and be able to tell their generations of Bills fans to come that their grandmother, grandfather, whoever had a part of building this stadium, I think is really special.
A lot of people will reference, having a relative who built something incredible.
Yeah.
The Golden Gate Bridge, the Empire State Building. They do remember those, or my grandfather worked on that.
Yeah.
And to think that could be passed down as a story generation after generation is really cool.
Yeah.
That's awesome.
Yeah.
Yeah.
All right, stay with us. We'll have more coming up right after the break.
Like that.
Welcome back. Amazing weather right now to do anything outside in Western New York, and some families might be thinking of taking a trip to the zoo, not just to see animals, but also to see dinosaurs. It's called Destination Dinosaur, and Kevin O'Neill was at the zoo this morning during Daybreak to show us more.
Strange noises at the Buffalo Zoo, even stranger than normal. I've never heard dinosaurs before, but here they are. Adam Gorski, how you doing?
Doing well, doing well.
So we'll talk about the big guy behind you.
Yeah,
He's
is our...
he's quite a receptionist.
Yeah. It's our Tyrannosaurus Rex. He's the first face you'll be seeing at the zoo this summer, right when you walk in.
That's awesome. It's for kids that love, for grown-ups that love dinosaurs, what a unique experience you guys have come
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, so this is our Destination Dinosaur exhibition. We have over a dozen moving, animatronic dinosaurs. They make noises. You can get up close and walk among the giants and walk back in prehistoric times.
Okay, activities too?
Yeah. We have our hands-on. We have our fossil dig pit. We have a daily dinosaur show with actors and Renee the Raptor, and we also have a bunch of photo opportunities as well.
Is it costume characters
Yes.
or something like that?
Yes.
That's cool.
Very cool.
Okay, let's talk about you have a new addition, the Howler Monkey.
Yes.
How's mom? How's dad? How's baby?
Yes. Everybody's doing great. Yeah, they're baby's out on exhibit daily with mom and dad until about noon in our M&T Bank Rainforest Falls.
Naming contest on the way.
Yes, on the way.
And announcements of other babies are on the way as well. Okay.
Yes.
Summer programming, first of all, the big June event.
Yes, Wines in the Wild. That's June 18th. It's our adult-only night at the zoo. We have sampling from over 40 wineries, breweries, restaurants from all around Western New York, animal experiences, and it just makes for a great adult-only night at the zoo.
Are you guys doing the lanterns again?
Yes. That starts late July.
It's Zoomagination.
Correct,
All
Zoomagination.
right, but the dinosaurs will be here then too.
Yes, correct.
That's
yes.
awesome. Here
Yes.
through Halloween, if I remember
Absolutely,
correctly.
that is correct.
BuffaloZoo.org is the website.
That is correct.
And there's no additional charge for the dinosaurs. Just walk around and discover them as you meet Luna and, of course, all the other friends at the Buffalo Zoo. On your side in North Buffalo, I'm Kevin O'Neill, Channel 2 News.
Have you ever seen Luna at the zoo, the polar bear?
No, no, wait.
She's like a ham. She just wants to like
attention.
Yes, she loves the attention. She plays it up for people, for visitors.
So she knows that she's supposed to put on
that people are there to watch her.
Right.
But sometimes you go to the zoo and you're like, where are all the animals? Like I go at the wrong time where they're all sleeping or in their little habitats and I can't see them. But it's really fun when you do get to see the gorillas and
but if like in the heat of the day, they're all going to be like getting like in their little area. Yeah. I remember years ago there was a famous animal at the San Diego Zoo in California. It was the pandas from China.
Oh yeah.
Ling Ling and Sing Sing, and anyway, to go see them was a huge deal, and we waited in line, and all these people are crowded around the one little area and nowhere to be seen.
No.
Nowhere.
Oh.
Just, you can't disrupt their their lifestyle, but they come out when they want to come out.
Yeah.
Right? But Luna likes to ham it up.
Yeah.
That's great.
Yeah, she's fun.
Very
Okay, and here's another sign that summer has arrived. Buffalo's downtown Country Market opens for its 44th season today. You can find it right along Main Street at Fountain Plaza. That's between Huron and Chippewa, and the market is on Thursdays from 10 until 2, all the way through October 15th, offering some fresh produce, fruits and vegetables, and other unique food items and other vendors as well. And then they're going to break down the farmers market and get ready to entertain on the stage there at Fountain Plaza. It's Thursday in Maine, and it kicks off tonight. Features local favorites and national acts. Strictly Hip is performing next week, and Robert Randolph, a Dave Matthews tribute band. The shows begin tonight. They run from 5 to 8, and tonight's act is Handsome Jack and the Burkharts. Thursday and Maine, though. That name annoys me. Why isn't it Thursday on Maine?
Thursday in Maine?
No, it's Thursday and Maine.
Oh.
Is the name of it.
On.
On or at?
Yeah.
I don't understand. It's okay.
It's really bugging you, isn't
it? It really is. Here's music on Maine. This one's in Williamsville, though, and this begins today. And you can see all of these bands at all of these different places. So it's really great to pop from one restaurant to another, from Brightsmith to Irishman and Moorpat and Rationales and so many more. There's dozens of performers lined up to perform at local restaurants and bars, and then this outdoor scene at Irishman, and then there's an outdoor area at Glen Park Tavern also. So it's really fun. The music's going to be perfect for it. Definitely like a mix of artists all throughout the village of Williamsville. So if you like live music, that's a great place to go.
Very cool.
And you will often see me there. Yep.
What's your like? Do you have a starting point, or just what do you?
That's a great. Yes.
Do you remember?
No. Yes, I remember. But there's Rationales now, which is relatively new, and that's kind of down toward Spot and like Forest, and so it depends on how long you want to walk.
Okay.
But there are so many, you really do have to pace yourself. And so I kind of pick and choose and make sure that I do a couple this week or a couple that week. But Irishman is always really, really packed. Brightsmith is packed. And then the Glen Park Tavern, that's lots of people bring lawn chairs and sit out there because it's in a parking lot behind Glen Park Tavern.
Very cool.
Yes. Anyway, 90 seconds left. Taste of Buffalo, we now know their entertainment schedule. Lots of entertainment. The Songbirds, which is a tribute to Fleetwood Mac, and the Plagiarists, which is a cover band of pop and rock. And so look at all of this. So much fun. There's 6 different stages, so you can eat a lot, drink a lot, and watch and listen to a lot of entertainment. The Taste of Buffalo is July 11th and 12th. Patrick and I usually get to judge. Last year I had to miss it. I don't know what I was doing while I was out of town, but I really hope they put me back on the judging list. If I missed it one year, I don't want to I don't want to lose my opportunity. Judging is the best thing.
Doesn't it seem like it never gets interrupted by weather?
Oh,
right?
now you jinxed us.
No, I'm just like, every event usually has some experience, but the taste always seems to be nice. Maybe some years a little hot, but generally nice, right?
Because a lot, I mean, wind with all the tents,
right?
Rain,
Storms,
where
but
it's,
no. Yeah.
They do a really good job, though, of having tents with the tables underneath.
Right.
So if there is inclement weather,
Right.
you can be protected. But hopefully that won't happen, and this stretch of weather could be maybe continue.
Unbelievable.
Bye, everybody. Have a great day.